Oh. Om. Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam, Trailokyam Sacharacharam, Tatpadam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva Tvameva vedya dravinam Tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Jai Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So where are we in our text?
Chapter 61.
Will you help us out, please, Aditi?
Yes. Matter is consciousness itself. The world you perceive is made of consciousness. What you call matter is consciousness itself. You are the space, Akash, in which it moves, the time in which it lasts, the love that it gives life. Questioner. I was lucky to have holy company all my life. Is it enough for self-realization? Maharaj. It depends what you make of it. Questioner. I was told that the liberating action of satsang is automatic. Just like a river carries one to the estuary, so the subtle and silent influence of good people will take me to reality. Maharaj. It will take you to the river, but the crossing is your own. Freedom cannot be gained nor kept without will to freedom. You must strive for liberation. The least you can do is uncover and remove the obstacles diligently. If you want peace, you must strive for it. You will not find peace simply by keeping quiet. Questioner. A child just grows. He does not make plans for growth, nor has he a pattern, nor does he grow by fragments, a hand here, a leg there. He grows integrally and unconsciously. Maharaj. Because he is free of imagination. You can also grow like this, but you must not indulge in forecasts and plans born of memory and anticipation. It is one of the peculiarities of a jnani that he is not concerned with the future. Your concern with the future is due to fear of pain and desire for pleasure.
Let me stop there before he goes on to the next subject. Rather than comparing spiritual unfoldment with just the growth of a child, I think a more accurate comparison is to compare it to puberty. Nobody chooses puberty. But puberty in and of itself will not impel us into a meaningful, intimate love relationship. We then are impelled into action and making choices because of it. So when a youngster goes out on a date, do they choose it or don't they choose it? Well, it's some of both. So to echo what Maharaj is saying, yes, in a sense, all souls come home to God. It's an inevitability. But part of the process is the awakening of our own Purushartha, our own self ever. We have to have mumukshutva, the burning desire for liberation. Over and over again, I say, self-realization is not difficult. Lord Krishna says the same thing, easy to perform, but it's very rare. And it's rare because nobody really wants it. When you hear that in order to be rooted in the self, we have to give up our attachment to the entire phenomenal world, to any idea of self. Oh, I don't want to do that. Well, that's the doorway. That's the doorway. So it's paradoxical. And it is the grace of God that gives us the desire to strive hard for liberation. That's part of the unfoldment process. Any thoughts on this before we go on? So for you and me, no point beating ourselves up because I have attachments, I have worldly desires, I'm impelled to fulfill them. That's fine. Just keep in mind what I call the pleasure principle. If I'm unhappy, it is not because I don't have what I want. If I'm unhappy, it's because I am stuck craving. Kama, Dvesha, Bhaya. If I'm all thrilled when I have a moment of satisfaction, own your Ananda. This is a kiss of the bliss of your own self-nature. Ultimately, the only way to give up the world is through the crushing humiliation of failure or insight. Oh, I don't want to go down that road. I can see where it leads. Any thoughts on this? But what the disciple is saying is echoed in Tripura Rahasyam. The whole first third of the book deals with the question, what is the root cause of liberation? And the answer is sadhu sangha, association with the wise. So we're exposed to people with an awakened state of mind. We see the joy, the peace that it gives them. It's modeled for us. All right, going on.
Your concern with the future is due to fear of pain and desire for pleasure. To the Jnani, all is bliss. He is happy with whatever comes. Questioner. Surely there are many things that would make even a Gyani miserable. Maharaj. A Gyani may meet with difficulties, but they do not make him suffer. Bringing up a child from birth to maturity may seem a hard task, but to a mother, the memories of hardships are a joy. There is nothing wrong with the world. What is wrong is the way you look at it. It is your own imagination that misleads you. Without imagination, there is no world. Your conviction that you are conscious of a world is the world. The world you perceive is made of consciousness. What you call matter is consciousness itself. You are the space, Akash, in which it moves, the time in which it lasts, the love that gives it life. Cut off imagination and attachment, and what remains? Questioner. The world remains. I remain. Maharaj. Yes, but how different it is when you can see it as it is, not through the screen of desire and fear. Questioner. What are all these distinctions for? Reality and illusion, wisdom and ignorance, saint and sinner? Everyone is in search of happiness. Everyone strives desperately. Everyone is a yogi, and his life a school of wisdom. Each learns in his own way the lessons he needs. Society approves of some, disapproves of others. There are no rules that apply everywhere and for all time. Maharaj. In my world, love is the only law. I do not ask for love, I give it. Such is my nature. Questioner. I see you living your life according to a pattern. You run a meditation class in the morning, lecture, and have discussions regularly. Twice daily there is worship, puja, and devotional singing, bhajan, in the evening. You seem to adhere to the routine scrupulously. Maharaj. The worship and the singing are as I found them, and I saw no reason to interfere. The general routine is according to the wishes of the people with whom I happen to live, or who come to listen. They are working people with many obligations, and the timing is for their convenience. Some repetitive routine is inevitable. Even animals and plants have their timetables. Questioner. Yes, we see a regular sequence in all life. Who maintains the order? Is there an inner ruler who lays down laws and enforces order? Maharaj. Everything moves according to its nature. Where is the need of a policeman? Every action creates a reaction which balances and neutralizes the action. Everything happens, but there is a continuous canceling out, and in the end, it is as if nothing happened. Questioner. Do not console me with final harmonies. The accounts tally, but the loss is mine. Maharaj. Wait and see. You may end up with a profit good enough to justify the outlays. Questioner. There is a long life behind me, and I often wonder whether its many events took place by accident, or whether there was a plan. Was there a pattern laid down before I was born, by which I had to live my life? If so, who made the plans, and who enforced them? Can there be deviations and mistakes? Some say destiny is immutable, and every second of life is predetermined. Others say that pure accident decides everything. Maharaj. You can have it as you like. You can distinguish a pattern in your life, or see merely a chain of accidents. Explanations are meant to please the mind. They need not be true. Reality is undefinable and indescribable.
Beautiful.
Questioner. Sir, you are evading my question. I want to know how you look at it. Wherever we look, we find a structure of unbelievable intelligence and beauty. How can I believe that the universe is formless and chaotic? Your world, the world in which you live, may be formless, but it need not be chaotic. Maharaj, the objective universe has structure, is orderly and beautiful. Nobody can deny it. But structure and pattern imply constraint and compulsion. My world is absolutely free. Everything in it is self-determined. Therefore, I keep on saying that all happens by itself. There is order in my world too, but it is not imposed from outside. It comes spontaneously and immediately because of its timelessness. Perfection is not in the future, it is now. Questioner, does your world affect mine? Maharaj, at one point only, at the point of the now. It gives it momentary being, a fleeting sense of reality. In full awareness, the contact is established. It needs effortless, unself-conscious attention. Questioner, is attention not an attitude of mind? Oh, sorry. Is not attention an attitude of mind? Maharaj, yes. When the mind is eager for reality, it gives attention. There is nothing wrong with your world. It is your thinking yourself to be separate from it that creates disorder. Selfishness is the source of all evil. Questioner, I am coming back to my question. Before I was born, did my inner self decide the details of my life? Or was it entirely accidental and at the mercy of heredity and circumstances? Maharaj, those who claim to have selected their father and mother and decided how they are going to live their next life may know for themselves. I know for myself. I was never born. Questioner, I see you sitting in front of me and answering my questions. Maharaj, you see the body only, which of course was born and will die. Questioner, it is the life story of this body-mind that I am interested in. Was it laid down by you or somebody else, or did it happen accidentally? Maharaj, there is a catch in your very question. I make no distinction between the body and the universe. Each is the cause of the other. Each is the other, in truth. But I am out of it all. When I am telling you that I was never born, why go on asking me what my preparations for the next birth were? The moment you allow...
Let me give you an example. So you go to the department store and you find a pair of shoes that you like, or you go online and you buy your shoes. You are not your shoes. Do you have any real concern about the factory in which they were made? Do you go back and think about, oh, where did the rubber come from? Which grove of rubber trees? Or where was the synthetic materials purchased? Or if they're fabric, where did the fabric come from? From what natural sort of thing? Most of us have no concern for where my shoes came from. I like the shoes, I have the shoes. At one level, there's a cause and effect. But I buy shoes. Are they comfortable? And at some point, my shoes wear out and I throw them away. But I am not my shoes. so is the body. So many of us go causation hunting. Why am I this way? Why do I have this syndrome? Why do I have this psychological pattern? And so many traditions will say, why is not a particularly useful spiritual question. First of all, it's always subject to doubt. Far more useful is, what is my bondage? And how do I get free from it? And whatever its cause in the now is all the material I need. What else is the now but the sum total of what has been? Any thoughts on this? Going on.
When I am telling you that I was never born, why go on asking me what my preparations for the next birth were? The moment you allow your imagination to spin, it at once spins out a universe. It is not at all as you imagine, and I am not bound by your imaginings. Questioner: it requires intelligence and energy to build and maintain a living body. Where do they come from? Maharaj: there is only intelligence. There is only imagination. The intelligence and power are all used up in your imagination. It has absorbed you so completely that you just cannot grasp how far from reality you have wandered. No doubt, imagination is richly creative. Universe within universe is built on it. Yet, they are all in space and time, past and future, which just do not exist. Questioner: I recently read a report about a little girl who was very cruelly handled in her early childhood. She was badly mutilated and disfigured and grew up in an orphanage, completely estranged from its surroundings. This little girl was quiet and obedient, but completely indifferent. One of the nuns who was looking after the children was convinced that the girl was not mentally retarded, but merely withdrawn, irresponsive. A psychoanalyst was asked to take up the case, and for 2 full years, he would see the child once a week and try to break the wall of isolation. She was docile and well behaved, but would give no attention to her doctor. He brought her a toy house with rooms and movable furniture and dolls representing a father, mother, and their children. It brought out a response. The girl became interested. One day, the old hurts revived and came to the surface. Gradually, she recovered a number of operations, brought back her face and body to normal, and she grew into an efficient and attractive young woman. It took the doctor more than 5 years, but the work was done. He was a real guru. He did not put down conditions, nor talk about readiness and eligibility. Without faith and without hope, out of love only, he tried and tried again. Maharaj: yes, that is the nature of a guru. He will never give up. But to succeed, he must not be met with too much resistance. Doubt and disobedience necessarily delay. Given confidence and pliability, he can bring about a radical change in the disciple speedily. Deep insight in the guru and earnestness in the disciple, both are needed. Whatever her condition was, The girl in your story suffered for lack of earnestness in people. The most difficult are the intellectuals. They talk a lot, but are not serious. What you call realization is a natural thing. When you are ready, your guru will be waiting. Sadhana is effortless. When the relationship with your teacher is right, you grow. Above all, trust him. He cannot mislead you. Questioner. Even when he asks me to do something patently wrong? Maharaj. Do it. A sannyasi was asked by his guru to marry. He obeyed and suffered bitterly. But his 4 children were all saints and seers, the greatest in Maharashtra. Be happy with whatever comes from your guru, and you will grow to perfection without striving. Questioner. Sir, have you any wants or wishes? Can I do anything for you? Maharaj. What can you give me that I do not have? Material things are needed for contentment, but I am contented with myself. What else do I need? Questioner. Surely when you are hungry, you need food, and when sick, you need medicine. Maharaj. Hunger brings the food, and illness brings the medicine. It is all nature's work. Questioner. If I bring something I believe you need, will you accept it? Maharaj. The love that made you offer will make me accept. Questioner. If somebody offers to build you a beautiful ashram? Maharaj. Let him, by all means. Let him spend a fortune, employ hundreds, feed thousands. Questioner. Is it not a desire? Maharaj. Not at all. I am only asking him to do it properly, not stingily, half-heartedly. He is fulfilling his own desire, not mine. Let him do it well and be famous among men and gods. Questioner. But do you want it? Maharaj. I do not want it. Questioner. Will you accept it? Maharaj. I don't need it. Questioner. Will you stay in it? Maharaj. If I am compelled. Questioner. What can compel you? Maharaj. Love of those who are in search of light. Questioner. Yes, I see your point. Now, how am I to go into samadhi? Maharaj. If you are in the right state, whatever you see will put you into samadhi. After all, samadhi is nothing unusual. When the mind is intensely interested, it becomes one with the object of interest. The seer and the seen become one in seeing. The hearer and the heard become one in hearing. The lover and the loved become one in loving. Every experience can be the ground for samadhi. Questioner. Are you always in a state of samadhi? Maharaj. Of course not. Samadhi is a state of mind after all. I am beyond all experience, even of samadhi. I am the great devourer and destroyer. Whatever I touch dissolves into void, Akash. Questioner. I need samadhis for self-realization. Maharaj. You have all the self-realization you need, but you do not trust it. Have courage. Trust yourself. Go, talk, act. Give it a chance to prove itself.
So let's stop here if we may. So many scriptures talk about the necessity of nirvikalpa samadhi. There's truth and not truth to it. For the best of students, the hearing of the truth and their deep understanding happens immediately. They may have moments of nirvikalpa or not. But for most of us, we do not seem to be able to let go of our identification with the personal sense of self, this jiva bhavana, without at least once experiencing the absolute cessation of all thoughting, at least once, the removal of the influence of the avarana shakti, the failing power. But that's not the highest state. The highest state, sahaja samadhi, is the natural, obvious, continuous, effortless knowledge that I am Brahman. Not that I'm a Mahatma, not that I'm some enlightened being, come touch my feet. So my suggestion is do not strive hard for samadhi, strive hard for knowledge of yourself. Anytime you can still the mind, introvert the attentive faculty, and notice Chidananda Rupaham, my nature is bliss consciousness. Millions of vasanas get roasted. Let samadhi sneak up on you from behind and snatch your ego. And part of the problem is many of us have romantic ideas of what samadhi is. All right, going on.
With some, realization comes imperceptibly, but somehow they need convincing. They have changed, but they do not notice it. Such non-spectacular cases are often the most reliable. Questioner: can one believe himself to be realized and be mistaken? Maharaj: of course. The very idea I am self-realized is a mistake.
Yes.
There is no I am this, I am that in the natural state. And that's the end of the chapter.
So, any personal sense of self is rooted in ignorance. If I think I'm a miserable creature, if I think I'm my body, I'm deluded. But listen carefully. If I think I'm a realized person, I am still deluded. The mark of the jnani is she knows I am Brahman. And she knows the body, mind, intellect in its of itself is a product of ignorance. It's always finite. It's not about becoming a super goody-goody. No, you are Brahman. Get out. Give up concern for the BMI, as Swamiji used to call it, the body, mind, intellect. Look at your body, mind, intellect the way the ordinary person looks at their shadow. It's there, but I'm not disturbed if it's very long or very short. I don't go into a panic if it's an overcast day and I don't seem to have a shadow. I don't rejoice and tell all my friends when it's a bright sunny day and my shadow is very long. It's there. I may or may not even notice it. Any thoughts? All right, next chapter.
Chapter 62. In the Supreme, the witness appears. In the Supreme, the witness appears. The witness creates the person and thinks of itself as separate from it. The witness sees that the person appears in consciousness, which again appears in the witness. This realization of basic unity is the working of the Supreme. It is the power behind the witness, the source from which all flows. Questioner. Some 40 years ago, J. Krishnamurti said that there is life only, and all talks of personalities and individualities has no foundation in reality. He did not attempt to describe life. He merely said that while life need not and cannot be described, it can be fully experienced if the obstacles to its being experienced are removed. The main hindrance lies in our idea of an addiction to time, in our habit of anticipating a future in the light of the past. The sum total of the past becomes the I was, the hoped for future becomes the I shall be, and life is a constant effort of crossing over from what I was to what I shall be. The present moment, the now, is lost sight of. Maharaj speaks of I am. Is it an illusion, like I was and I shall be, or is there something real about it? And if the I am too is an illusion, how does one free oneself from it? The very notion I am free of I am is an absurdity. Is there something real, something lasting about the I am, in distinction from the I was or I shall be, which change with time as added memories create new experience or new expectations? Maharaj, the present I am is as false as the I was and I shall be. It is merely an idea in the mind, an impression left by memory, and the separate identity it creates is false. This habit of referring to a false center must be done away with. The notion I see, I feel, I think, I do must disappear from the field of consciousness. What remains when the false is no more is real. Questioner. What is this big talk about elimination of the self? How can the self eliminate itself? What kind of metaphysical acrobatics can lead to the disappearance of the acrobat? In the end, he will reappear, mightily proud of his disappearing. Maharaj, you need not chase the I am to kill it. You cannot. All you need is a sincere longing for reality. We call it Atma Bhakti, the love of the Supreme, or Moksha Sankalp, the determination to be free from the false. Without love and the will inspired by love, nothing can be done. Merely talking about reality without doing anything about it is self-defeating. There must be love in the relation between the person who says, I am, and the observer of that I am. As long as the observer, the inner self, the higher self considers himself apart from the observed and the lower self despises it and condemns it, the situation is hopeless. It is only when the observer, Vyakta, accepts the person, Vyakti as a projection or manifestation of himself, and, so to say, takes the self into the self, the duality of I and this the duality of I and this goes, and in the identity of the outer and the inner, the supreme reality manifests itself. This union of the seer and the seen happens when the seer becomes conscious of himself as the seer. He is not merely interested in the seen, which he is anyhow, but also interested in being interested, giving attention to attention, aware of being aware. Affectionate awareness is the crucial factor that brings reality into focus. Questioner. According to the Theosophists and allied occultists, man consists of three aspects: personality, individuality, and spirituality. Beyond spirituality lies divinity. The personality is strictly temporary and valid for one birth only. It begins with the birth of the body and ends with the birth of the next. Once over, it is over for good. Nothing remains of it except a few sweet or bitter lessons. The individuality begins with the animal man and ends with the fully human. The split between the personality and the individuality is characteristic of our present-day humanity. On one side is the individuality with its longing for the true, the good, and the beautiful. On the other side is an ugly struggle between habit and ambition, fear and greed, passivity and violence. The spirituality aspect is still in abeyance. It cannot manifest itself in an atmosphere of duality. Only when the personality is reunited with the individuality and becomes the limited, perhaps, but true expression of it, that the light and love and beauty of the spiritual come into their own. You teach of the Vyakti, Vyakta, Avyakta, observer, observed, and the ground of observation. Is it consistent with the other view? Maharaj. Yes. When the Vyakti realizes its non-existence in separation from the Vyakta, and the Vyakta sees the Vyakti as his own expression, then the peace and silence of the Avyakta state come into being. In reality, the three are one. The Vyakta and the Avyakta are inseparable, while the Vyakti is the sensing, feeling, thinking process based on the body made of and fed by the five elements. Questioner. What is the relation between the Vyakta and the Avyakta? Maharaj. How can there be a relation when they are one? All talk of separation and relation is due to the distorting and corrupting influence of the I am the body idea. The outer self, Vyakti, is merely a projection on the body-mind of the inner self, Vyakta, which again is only an expression of the Supreme Self, Avyakta, which is all and none. Questioner. There are teachers who will not talk of the higher self and lower self. They address the man as if only the lower self existed. Neither Buddha nor Christ ever mentioned a higher self. J. Krishnamurti, too, avoids any mention of the higher self. Why is this? Maharaj. How can there be two selves in one body? The I am is one. There is no higher I am and lower I am. All kinds of states of mind are presented to awareness, and there is self-identification with them. The objects of observation are not what they appear to be, and the attitudes they are met with are not what they need to be. If you think that Buddha, Christ, or Krishnamurti speak to the person, you are mistaken. They know well that the Vyakti, the outer self, is but a shadow of the Vyakta, the inner self, and they address and admonish the Vyakta only. They tell him to give attention to the outer self, to guide and help it, to feel responsible for it. In short, to be fully aware of it. Awareness comes from the Supreme and pervades the inner self. The so-called outer self is only that part of one's being of which one is not aware. One may be conscious, for every being is conscious, but not aware. What is included in awareness becomes the inner and partakes of the inner. You may put it differently. The body defines the outer self, consciousness the inner self, and in pure awareness, the Supreme is contacted. Questioner.
And just again, a reminder, he's translating the term Chaitanya as consciousness, which is different than Chit, which he's translating as awareness, the translator of the book. Now, what the Marathi terms are, I'm not quite sure. But in a later text, we get that clear definition. I wouldn't worry too much about vyakti, vyakta, and avyakta. You only have one true self. I hold up the phone and say, who sees the phone? I do. That's yourself. Now, on that direct and pure experience, I superimpose, I overlay all sorts of imaginations, just like in the dream state. My mind projects a dream body. I see a dream world. I have dream thoughts and feelings, but all of it is imagination. But the question is, even though it feels like I am in the dream body, to whom is the dream occurring? To me. And when I awaken, the dreamer, as it were, is gone. Well, actually, that description is not quite accurate. The dream is gone. The dream world, including the dream body and the dream ego, is gone. But now I illumine the waking state, my waking state body, world, but the I does not change. Only what it illumines changes. Going on.
Questioner. You have said the body defines the outer self. Since you have a body, do you also have an outer self? Maharaj. I would, were I attached to the body and took it to be myself. Questioner. But you are aware of it and attend to its needs. Maharaj. The contrary is nearer to the truth. The body knows me and is aware of my needs, but neither is really so. This body appears in your mind. In my mind, nothing is. Questioner. Do you mean to say that you are quite unconscious of having a body? Maharaj. On the contrary, I am conscious of not having a body. Questioner. I see you smoking. Maharaj. Exactly so. You see me smoking. Find out for yourself how you came to see me smoking, and you will easily realize that it is your I am the body state of mind that is responsible for this "I see you smoking" idea? Questioner. There is the body and there is myself. I know the body. Apart from it, what am I? Maharaj. There is no I apart from the body or the world. The three appear and disappear together. At the root is the sense I am. Go beyond it. The idea I am not the body is merely an antidote to the idea I am the body, which is false. What is that I am? Unless you know yourself, what else can you know? Questioner. From what you say, I conclude that without the body, there can be no liberation. If the idea I am not the body leads to liberation, the presence of the body is essential. Maharaj. Quite right. Without the body, how can the idea I am not the body come into being? The idea I am free is as false as the idea I am in bondage.
Oh, let's stop there. Both bondage and liberation occur to the mind. We are always dealing with two kinds of knowledge here. First is the self-evidence of the self. How do you know you are you? You do not see, hear, taste, touch, smell, emote, or think yourself. But the great cosmic joke is everybody already has that. Why? Because it's an eternal, immutable experience. It is never really covered even by ignorance. So what is my bondage? It is nothing more than a mental state that I think I'm bound, meaning I think I'm the body or the body plus the personality. What is liberation? It is a mind state rooted in direct experience. It is the deeply rooted conviction rooted in direct experience. Not that I'm a realized person, but there is no person there. It was an illusion. What's there? The space of pure awareness, Chidakasha. And from the standpoint of the Absolute wasn't in bondage. The Absolute didn't get realized. In that sense, they're both unreal. If you win the lottery in your dream, it's certainly a real experience. But is it real? No. We have to be very careful because beginning yogis will hear a discussion like this from someone like Maharaj, and they will think, oh, this moksha doesn't exist. Why should I strive hard for realization? Let me just go have a martini. It does it much quicker. Any thoughts on this? Remember, it's only the mind that suffers. From the standpoint of the Absolute, my suffering is real. But just screaming it's not real doesn't fix anything. Going on.
The idea I am free is as false as the idea I am in bondage. Find out the I am common to both and go beyond. Questioner. All is a dream only. Maharaj. All are mere words. Of what use are they to you? You are entangled in the web of verbal definitions and formulations. Go beyond your concepts and ideas. In the silence of desire and thought, the truth is found. Questioner. One has to remember or not to remember. What a task. Maharaj. It cannot be done, of course. It must happen. But it does happen when you truly see the need of it. Again, earnestness is the golden key. Questioner. At the back of my mind, there is a hum going on all the time. Numerous weak thoughts swarm and buzz, and this shapeless cloud is always with me. Is it the same with you? What is at the back of your mind? Maharaj. Where there is no mind, there is no back to it. I am all front, no back. The void speaks, the void remains. Questioner. Is there no memory left? Maharaj. No memory of past pleasure or pain is left. Each moment is newly born. Questioner. Without memory, you cannot be conscious. Maharaj. Of course I am conscious and fully aware of it. I am not a block of wood. Compare consciousness and its content to a cloud. You are inside the cloud, while I look at it. You are lost in it, hardly able to see the tips of your fingers, while I see the cloud and many other clouds, and the blue sky too, and the sun, and the moon, and the stars. Reality is one for both of us, but for you it is a prison, and for me it is a home. Questioner. You spoke of the person, Vyakti, the witness, Vyakta, and the supreme, Avyakta. Which comes first? Maharaj. In the supreme, the witness appears. The witness creates the person and thinks of itself as separate from it. The witness sees that the person appears in consciousness, which again appears in the witness. This realization of basic unity is the working of the Supreme. It is the power behind the witness, the source from which all flows. It cannot be contacted unless there is unity and love and mutual help between the person and the witness, unless the doing is in harmony with the being and the knowing. The Supreme is both the source and the fruit of such harmony. As I talk to you, I am in the state of detached but affectionate awareness, Turiya. When this awareness turns upon itself, you may call it the Supreme State, Turiyatita. But the fundamental reality is beyond awareness, beyond the three states of becoming, being and non-being. Questioner. How is it that here my mind is engaged in high topics and finds dwelling on them easy and pleasant, but when I return home, I find myself forgetting all I have learned here, worrying and fretting, unable to remember my real nature even for a moment? What is the cause of this? Maharaj. It is your childishness you are returning to. You are not fully grown up. There are levels left undeveloped because unattended. Just give full attention to what in you is crude and primitive, unreasonable and unkind, altogether childish, and you will ripen. It is the maturity of heart and mind that is essential. It comes effortlessly when the main obstacles, inattention and unawareness, are removed. In awareness, you grow.
That the end of the chapter?
That's the end of the chapter.
Okay, any thoughts, any reflections on it?
This last portion where he describes childishness and the need for attention to it resonates strongly with what we do in therapy, basically.
Great. Okay, I think we'll wrap up here today. Now I need to let you all know there will be no class next week. I have an appointment with my ophthalmologist. So again, no class next week, so I'll see you all in 2 weeks. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Tat Sat.